What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the ABJ Podcast, episode 64 with Squid Sterling. I will bring him in one moment, but make sure you guys do me a favor and check the links below for all things ABJ, whether it be following me on all social media by the link tree, or make sure you check out my guest links below, as well as any wrestlers on the scene who are in need of help, whether it be injury or off the shelf for a little bit. There is a new one that I did not get to add yet, but I will be doing it for the next episode. But if you guys are listening and you can do it, head over to Smash Master Wrestling on any form of social media. Rosh just had a little bit of a mishap, broke his orbital, got some stitches, scraped up his elbow a little bit. He's fine, but he's going to be out of action for a little bit due to the broken orbital, I believe. So if you guys can go and support Smash Master Wrestling, give him some love. They got a show coming up on the 17th. That would be awesome. You can get tickets now. He does have merchandise and all that fun stuff as well as Tony Deppen just broke his he has a broken arm he's going through. He's going to be out of action for a while. They just added some new merchandise for him at stiffblade.com. You can go support that and give him some love, as well as Philly Mike, who's still on the road to recovery. So anything you guys can do to help those injured wrestlers, please do so. And if you know any other injured wrestlers, send them my way, and I will add their links below. Or just do a favor and support those talented people because they put a lot on the line to help create content. I know my background looks a little wonky right now. There's boxes and pillows. I'm in the process of moving, so bear with me with background noise for now. Hopefully it'll be a whole new look coming soon, or something similar to what we already have. Also, huge thank you to the sponsor of Suplex Vintage Wrestling out of Philadelphia. Before I read the ad read, I just want to come straight from the heart on this one. I got to be completely honest, guys. I was done. When my car broke down and before all my other stuff in my life took a huge turn, I didn't have it in me anymore, man. I've been really, really chasing at this, and I felt like I was coming up short. And it has affected me in so many avenues and ways. But this is a passion of mine. I believe in it. I want it to be successful. And the reason this podcast is afloat, the reason I'm doing anything that I'm doing is because of the support and love of Suplex Vintage Wrestling. Please check them out on the links I'm about to say here. But if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy anything that I do, they are the reason it's happening. They're helping me get back and forth to shows by footing some bills. Like, they're keeping the lights on this podcast when it comes to using things like StreamYard and everything like that. So please, guys, if you're going to do anything to support anybody, please check out their store, follow them on social media, and just throw a comment on one of the things and be like, yo, thank you. We love ABJ, and you're showing him love. So put that stuff out there in the universe and really show them guys love, because they do a lot of cool stuff. But guys, it has finally happened. An entire store fully dedicated to vintage wrestling. They said it can never be done, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Suplex Vintage Wrestling is a store curated by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Located on 5th Street in Philadelphia, PA, just one block south of South Street in the heart of Queen Village, their shop features the largest collection of vintage wrestling apparel under one roof. Their selection includes classic designs featuring your favorite wrestlers from the Golden Age, Attitude Era, Internationals, Indy, and more. And if you're tired of watching premium live events at home, SVW hosts some of the best watch parties since your friend Kyle's birthday party when you were 12 years old. And if shirts and watch parties are not your thing, then let's not forget about their selection of figures, replica belts, trading cards, and from their t-shirts and hats to their rare wrestling memorabilia, they have something for every wrestling enthusiast out there. So what are you waiting for? Check them out on suplex.svw on Instagram or at suplexsvw.com and let them satisfy your nostalgia wrestling needs. Once again, huge thank you to those guys. Like I said, if you support this or you love this, they are the ones keeping this afloat. They are an amazing staff. They don't only just do wrestling, but they also have a card store. So if you're into trading cards and collectibles, they got that covered too, as well as sneakers and vintage sports clothing. They have everything, and it's all in South Philadelphia in the heart of Queens Village. So make sure you go follow them, support them, go to their website, and just tag like, hey, thank you for supporting ABJ or something along those lines, and just let them know that you guys are you're flocking over, because it makes a big difference. So tonight's goal, I've never done this before, but the likes, what I've been reading is likes on YouTube are what gets more eyes and more algorithms going on, not just YouTube, but like Facebook and stuff like that. So let's go for a goal of 30 likes. 30, it's not a lot. There's more than 30 people that watch these videos. So just hit the like button while you're here. If it's your first time, hit follow, subscribe, and hit that share button. and let's have a good time tonight. The live chat will be open. You can join in, ask some questions, hang out with us, and let's have some fun here. We're going to get this party rocking and rolling with one of the guys who has crossed both platforms when it comes to rock music as well as professional wrestling. I've known this guy for quite some time. He is absolutely one of the biggest sweethearts in the scene. He is so goddamn hardworking and so humble. I've been following him since his backbreaker days, and he's been making appearances at a lot of other places. I believe there was PPW at one point in time. He was there for a little bit. He's all over the place. Northeast Pennsylvania, born and raised. Awesome guy. Let's bring him in. Without further ado, the one, the only Squid Sterling. What's going on, bud?
ABJ, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me, brother.
Not a problem, dude. So we had a conversation on camera before. It was at a backbreaker show, but this is a little different now, different place, but a little different platform. Oh, here you go. Let's just say that Squid 100% showed the world who he was at Smash Master Classic show. Keep an eye out for Squid Sterling. Dude, so that's where I want to start as well, is you've always had the intangible things that you need to have in this business. Your work ethic is very good. Your attitude is very good. You're very humble. You're very giving. You want to help other people around you. And then during, I would say, end of pandemic going into this year, maybe even a little bit before, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you have really worked on your physical appearance. You've been hitting the gym hard.
Yeah.
You're tightening up the body. You're putting some mass on. Like Squid Sterling 4 years ago is not the Squid Sterling now. You're getting a little beefy, boy. You know what I mean? Like
I'm trying. If I'm being honest with you, I ain't going morbid right off the bat, but the going into the gym, aside from like the kick in the ass to really like want to look the part and not just play the part, I use it as a coping mechanism for when my mom died. She passed. Yeah. I didn't know what to do with myself, so I just like work out, just keep the mind busy, work out, and that became a lifestyle because it's not just like going to the gym. Like I spend my time like one of my favorite. I go to BAM and I research the books to learn like the science behind muscle building, and I'm always learning. There's so much more that I can learn, but trying to learn about all the nutrition and everything that you have to do to make it and maintain that lifestyle.
If this question's too much or you don't want to disclose it, you don't have to say, but you have, we'll just say you have a gym partner. It looks like a lot in your video, in your photos when you're at the gym.
I do.
Yes. So you're, the loss of one of the most important women of your life, and then obviously has led to the gym, and it looks like you guys are doing it together, which looks like a very beautiful thing where you're almost motivating each other, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think the overall thing of what you're trying to go for, I think is just super healthy, and I think is really dope for you.
Thank you. Yep. She's my soon to be fiance. She knows already if she's watching. That ain't no surprise.
Yeah.
But,
breaking news on ABJ now.
I have gratefully had her by my side through the whole thing because she keeps me motivated. Like, because there's definitely days where you don't want to be there and like you're slugging. You had a long week at work, whatever, and she's just keeps pushing me, and I do the same for her because it's like a personal journey for her too, and we're just trying to do it together.
I love that, dude. That's insanely motivating, and it's sweet to hear. I love that. Lindsay and JS Michaels in the chat, they both just started their little podcast experience. Go check those guys out. And then what we talked about earlier, Rosh, go support my boy Rosh. Go he's a little banged up right now, so make sure you go to Smash Master Wrestling, go buy his merchandise and help the boy out. Once again, if you're here new, just make sure hit those likes if whatever you're watching on. Our goal is 30 likes for this video, so let's get it going. Hit that share button.
Do it. It's free.
Cost you nothing. Oh, look at Crispy Boy in here too. Everyone's here tonight. Look at everyone's here for Squid, baby.
I love to see y'all. Thank you.
So let's ask the most notorious question on wrestling podcasts. But when did you fall in love with this business? When was your earliest memory of being like, holy shit, I'm a pro wrestling fan. Let's get this done.
I definitely fell in love with the business early. Yelping that. So it was my sister that initially got me into it because she was watching her VHS of WrestleMania 17. And I was tuning in and out through the whole thing. I was sitting there watching it with her, and then Stone Cold and The Rock came on. And as soon as the glass shattered, that was my first introduction to Stone Cold, and I couldn't stop watching. I just couldn't. And I fell in love ever since then. And aside from that, my cousin Jerry, ever since I was a little kid, he would always take me to like local indie shows and everything around the area. I wish I remembered a lot of them, like names and workers that I saw from back then, but we used to do that all the time. And it was ever since that WrestleMania moment that made me fall in love with that.
The glass shatter and Stone Cold. So are you always the Northeast PA scene? Like, is that where you've kind of been born and raised?
Yeah, I've been born and raised here my whole life. I don't necessarily want to stay here my whole life, but I'm here, and I rock it and I support it, and I'm going to do that for as long as I'm here.
I love that. So when did you transition from watching wrestling and then saying like, this is what I want to do, this is the path I want to take on, and what was that process like, and how did you find your school?
Well, so funny story about that. To me, I believe whenever you get down and something bad happens, like it's always going to propel you to something better.
I sure hope so.
And, and I promise it will. When I was working as an assistant manager at GameStop. This is before wrestling. I was coming out of my teens, coming out of college, and GameStop was a dream job. Like you get to just rip the games open, brand new, midnight release, take it home and play it, bring it back, sell it as brand new. Oops, didn't mean to give the secret. But I loved that job, and I ended up losing that job. And I wasn't ready for that mentally or like financially, nothing. So I kind of went into panic mode, turmoil, and I went into a depression. And I'm not normally like that. And I felt weird. And I'm like, I have to do something to get out of this. And I've been saying for years and years and years that I wanted to wrestle. Like I just wanted the taste of it to see if I could do it. And shortly before I got let go, Kit Raff came into GameStop, getting some games off me, and he told me about Backbreakers. And he's like, yeah, they do tryouts every now and then, blah, blah. I said, okay. I always kept that in the back of my head. So then when the time finally came, I didn't have the job. I had no responsibility at the moment. I just said, fuck it. And I messaged Justin Glory, and I'm like, Mr. Glory, I'm ready to put myself through this. Like, I need to do something. I've been wanting to do this, let's make this happen. We did. And the rest is history from there.
Yeah. So before you like growing up or were you athletic? Did you play sports growing up? Did you ever experience those football, basketball, 2-3 a days? Like, did anything in your path prepare you for your first hell week of professional wrestling?
Not a damn thing. not a thing. The only thing I legitimately consider doing sports wise that I tried was with baseball, but that was Little League. That was years ago. So from the time I got out of that and through high school, I never did any sports. I was always music. And when I went to wrestling training thinking I'm an idiot. I thought this was going to be easy. I don't know what made me think that. But when I stepped in that ring, 30 minutes went by and I was puking on the bathroom floor. I was puking my guts out. I was so out of shape. I had no cardio. I did not know what I was getting myself into, but it's just something there. I loved it still. And I picked my sorry puking ass up and I got back in the ring, wiped off first, got back in the ring and finished it out. And I told myself that I was going to keep doing this.
How many people in your training class are still actively in the business?
Oof. In my class, I think I'm the only one.
Wow.
Out of my personal class, because you have Aaron Roxas, who was the class before me. I guess you could say we're around the same there.
Yeah.
And Adina Steele, she was in the class after me. And I really think that's all that really stuck around.
Wow, that's crazy. Any other familiar faces on the scene that were there your first week of training that you're still close with?
that were there the first week of training? No, not really. Most of them are all gone, but like, Adina's there, Brad was there, and Johnny Toxic. They were around for, I don't know if they were there my first day or not. I truthfully don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all there mentoring and helping us from the beginning. Other than that, most of them quit by the time it came to that time.
And I don't like to hear, like, obviously that question isn't asked to say how many people quit. It just kind of shows people who are listening that may not be professional wrestling fans of how extremely difficult this industry can be on just your mental and your physical,
right. Because
there's a lot to it. But walk me through the first time you're hitting ropes and you're taking bumps. What does it do to a body?
It doesn't make it feel very good. Taking bumps, truthfully for me, like maybe it's just how I was taught. I felt like the teaching was very well done on how to take bumps. That wasn't the worst until we had to start taking them over and over. And then you start taking bumps next to each other and bumping at the same time to get your timing down. And as soon as one person hits that mat and the other one's just an inch above that ground, you're getting stiff so hard, and you're going to feel that for a week. The ropes leave bruises everywhere, all on your back, on your arm, your armpit. And I'm not the tallest guy on the scene, man. Let's be real here. So that's getting right up in my pit half the time. And it
looks terrible.
It's fun in some sickening, sadistic way. It is fun, but man, it don't always feel good.
Eric Pinhead says his graduation photos came across my memories the other day, and I'm pretty sure he's right, and he's the only one left.
My God, I remember being nervous for those photos because I'm like, that was before I really had my character or had a really decent understanding of the business. So I'm like, oh my God, what promo photos? Like, what is going to work? What's not going to work? Like, I remember crossing like this, and I'm like, I look at it now.
Oh, you did the punk? You did the punk?
Yeah, I did the punk thing with the drumsticks coming across my face, and cringe.
So since the start, have you always adapted the name Squid Sterling and the persona of the rock and roll wrestler?
Yep, that was my intention right from the start, and still rocking with it and evolving. You know, as time goes on in this business, especially, you have to continue to evolve, and a lot faster than sometimes I anticipate too.
Yeah,
but
I will say with your character, you come out to good music, you come out looking like a rock star, you have your drumsticks, you got everything you need there. But like when you wrestle, that, I don't know, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but that kind of, the character rock side vanishes, and then when you get in the ropes, that's when the wrestler begins, and then you become more of that heart and soul style wrestler because you're the undersized, the shorter guy. You are putting muscle mass on, but you have that fight from behind attitude and everything like that. So like you rock and roll until you hit the rope, and then you do your pose, and then when the bell rings, it's not rock, it's fighting time. You know what I mean? And I think that's a cool idea to your character. Like you don't really do much when it comes to it. Like maybe sometimes you'll do the drumstick spots where you hit, like, you know what I mean? But like for the most time, most of your stuff is just like, it's just wrestling. There's not a lot of crossover. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's, it's hard to explain.
Sometimes I like it like that because I really do. I love getting in there and putting on just a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. But I do love getting in there and putting a little bit of that flair. Like there's something, we have that cowbell spot. Every now and then, I love having that cowbell up near someone's face and literally ringing their bell.
Yeah, you know, it would be a good one. Like, you know, the 10
over O'Malley's head. That's a high spot in my head.
Oh yeah, hitting anybody. I feel like if you're a rock star, like that's got to be like is hitting somebody with a guitar. I don't ever want to be hit with one, but
it was invigorating. That's the best word. Like, it is so fun.
You know what you should do? I don't know if you probably have done it already. I'm probably not original in this, but like the old school classic, throw them in the corner, climb up, 10 punches, right? But instead of the punches, you should be doing the Pete Townsend's, like bang, like you're strumming, like you know what I mean, like the strum punch. Like
it hasn't happened yet.
There you go. You can have that.
After
you
today,
can have that. Yeah. Definitely. Like boom, boom, and then jump off or something. I don't know. Just a little fun little rock incorporation.
How
did you
walk, and get my ass power bombed?
Yeah. Or like instead of I don't know if your gear is prepared for it, but instead of like, when you do the lucha spot where, one jumps over, like just do like a stage slide, like a knee slide underneath their legs.
Oh my God. Thinking about that makes me nervous.
Yeah, because your legs stick and then you take a crotch right to the face.
I can feel it now.
You get your nose broke by someone's ween. It would be horrible.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Squid Sterling? Where does that come from? What was your idea of the name?
So I feel like the name Squid, I didn't choose the name. The name chose me.
I love that.
I've had that name for literally as long as I can remember from being a kid, but I can truthfully tell you it's not too much of a secret anymore. It came from Rocket Power. How many on here? No,
yeah. Wiggity.
From that, I loved it when I was a little kid. I talked about it a lot. And my sister Tanya, she just came up behind me one day. I was talking about my friends, and she just called me Squid. And everybody around me thought it was hilarious, and it just stuck. So everybody throughout my life, professors, teachers, my parents, family, friends, everybody called me Squid. So I felt like it was only right.
So what you're saying is we were kind of talking off camera before the podcast started. So you need a Rocket Power inspired Squid Sterling logo.
Oh, yes. Money.
Right.
I would pick that.
We might know some people in here that can make that happen. I'll get you their deets.
I'm looking for those deets.
Yeah, man. So early on in your career, you're at Backbreakers. You're doing that. How long of your training before your first match where Glory or anybody at the school was like, hey man, we're going to put you in there and you're ready to go?
I think it was about 10 months. 10 months of training. I went 3 days a week religiously. I seriously don't think that I missed a day of training before I graduated. 3 days a week. I would only be allowed to participate in maybe one class. Like at first there was a beginner's class. So you learn your bumps and all your fundamentals. And I went to that, participated. And then on Tuesday was the advanced class and Thursday was open ring. And I would just go and watch. And sometimes I sit at the end of the ring, sometimes just sit in the chairs, and I would just take everything in. You learn in just as much by watching and listening as you do by doing.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I was allowed to go to I bumped up to advanced, and I was allowed to go to the open ring. And I just never stopped going to the beginners. If I had a place to go right now, I'd still be doing that because you can never get enough of that. Always.
I think there's a church you can go to. There's some guys you could hit up. They're always doing some stuff there. Once
that vehicle's rolling, hell yeah! I've been wanting to go bad because
they're training a lot there.
Of information sitting in that building up at Sanctuary. There really is. It is a gold mine of information and character development and everything that I believe that I need to be real.
Yeah. Come start hanging first Friday, man. If you get a ride, come hang out with us. We love having Squid at the church. So when did you have that? So your first match, that's why I wasn't. Yeah, your first match. You're about to go out there. Did you get your traditional 6-man tag? Was it a rumble spot? What was your first match?
It was a 1-on-1, which is and I'm thankful for it because even still to this day, it was some of the most fun that I've ever had. Something you never forget is your first time out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a 1-on-1 match. Lost the match.
Who'd you work?
His name. It was one of the kids that I came up with, and it was also his first match. So it was a double debut.
Oh,
and it was Cinderella Man, Chris Harsh. He's no longer in the business anymore, but we worked twice. My second match was also a rematch with him. And that's pretty much how that went there.
Yeah. So by the time I started learning about Backbreakers and start going there and consuming their content, you were essentially a staple there at that point in time. You were their what championship was it? It was like their lightweight champion or like their
at first I I ended up getting their heavyweight championship.
Mm-hmm.
And had to give up that because I dislocated my elbow, so I was out for a few months. And then it was a cruiserweight championship.
I came around for your cruiserweight run.
Yeah.
Yes.
And technically, I'm a two-time champ, but I had to give the first one up due to injury because I dislocated my knee.
I was there for the night when you hurt yourself and you couldn't compete, and you had to hand it in.
That was an awful night. Yeah. I did not have fun that night. But yeah, I held that in total. I mean, I didn't defend it too much because COVID happened. I had it all through COVID, but there was no shows. So like, does that really count? Yes. If it counts,
longest reigning.
If it counts, then it's longest reigning, and it's going on about 3 years.
Yeah.
Up until Backbreakers folded in, and I just handed it back.
Yeah. Crispy said there's a church you can get all that in. Chris Yem says, who looking forward to Friday night? What's going on Friday? Is there something cool happen Friday? I know there's a show at the Sanctuary this Friday. If that's what you're talking about, I'm looking forward to it. Totally. And then Finco says, hey man, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for coming hanging out, Finn. Yeah. So, and then also you got the team up with, you had a little bit of a manager situation there. You had a little CR O'Malley, who I did get your message, CR. You are on the list. I promise I'm not stopping you.
Dude, he's been busted my ass about that.
You are on the list. Your boy's just going through some stuff, but I definitely have I have both your forms. So I appreciate one of the only ones who's actually filling the forms out. So you're on the list. I swear to God. But how did you two team up and start doing stuff?
We just started driving together, like when we started getting our footing, because he never managed me in Backbreakers. Yeah, I don't think he's ever done it in Backbreakers.
Oh, look at this. Hit me up, Squid. I'll pick you up on the way. Oh, you know what? That's great, but terrible. It's great that you're coming to the Sanctuary, but it's terrible because Ricky Price is going to be there too. That is what a double-edged sword that is.
I'm going just to see that feud. I want to see that play out. But we just started being travel partners, and when we started getting booked, he's managed coming with me. So I would always ask Miller, like, hey, like if you're gonna use me, like, could we use him too? Like, we could do whatever spot you want, it's comedy, or if you want to be serious, face heel, whatever. Heel is always more fun, and it just kind of started to organically happen like that. And then we started, like, especially up in like the New York, like the 607 area, up there, we're paired together a lot. It's kind of like almost like a package deal.
I love that. How actually that's what I love. That's interesting to me, because a lot of times in the industry, a lot of people get stuck in that 15, 20 mile, 30 mile bubble of where they live and where they work. How was it your first time breaking out of that? I don't know anyone in the locker room. I'm going to go to a promotion. I don't maybe know anyone here, and stepping into unfamiliar territory and going in and just getting that work in.
Absolutely nerve-wracking. Sometimes I might come off as an extrovert, but like, this boy's loaded with social anxiety, and I can mask it. And when you put me in a room,
baby, mask it.
When you put me in a room with a bunch of people that I have no idea, especially when you're coming up in the business and you're taught, like, oh, you need to watch what you say. You need to, you can only talk so much with so many people.
Spoken to.
Yeah. So I'm like, am I even allowed to talk? Like, well, what's going on here? Like, how do I work this? And eventually, you get to know the guy, and they're all welcoming. I really thankfully, I don't have a lot of negative experiences when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But 607 seems very welcoming, bringing me in there, and it got easier as time goes on. Now I think I might be able to go somewhere and be a little more confident in, and just getting my feet wet in there and making the connections. But for a while, was that nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm lucky everywhere I've went out of the PA scene. I've always been with Pete DeLong, so I've always had him as my crutch. It's good to roll with somebody. So when was that moment in your career where you had that click? Right now, it could happen at your home promotion, but I feel like a lot of times it happens when you're on that road or you're away from everyone in your immediate circle, because everybody in your immediate circle is going to they're going to be honest with you, but it's like almost like listening to your parents, right? Like your parents can give you all the best advice, but then when you leave the nest and then the advice that they've been saying comes from somebody else, and then you're like, oh, this makes sense. What was that moment for you as a professional wrestler?
I can pinpoint that. We were talking about it earlier. Definitely when I had my match with HC Loke, and that was at UW up in New York. And the reason why was because that was the first match that I went in with almost, other than the normal anxiety, like before you step out of the curtain, like, you know, the jitters. As soon as I stepped out of the curtain, it just all went away. I didn't have to think about what I was going to do or my strategy or anything like that. I just went in there and we worked and I felt it. And it's a testament to him because, man, he's a blast to work with. One of my favorite guys to work with. I love him to death.
Did he spit on you?
No. Yes, he did. He did. He did. Yes, he did. He spit all that water in my face like he was Triple H.
Yep.
And that whole time I was really sad that he spit in my face, but I was also like, this is kind of cool shit.
Yeah. You're gonna get spit on, and you're probably gonna get a top rope nut grab throw off top rope or something along those lines. I didn't get
one of those.
You didn't get the nut grab?
He told me look out for it, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was such like an aha moment is look, he looks at me beforehand, he's like, here, take this, kid. And he gives me a shot of vodka. He's like, just loosen yourself up. You look too damn nervous. I'm like, okay.
I love Logan.
Took that, and I was like, damn, he's right. Loosen up. But that loosening up just allowed me to get in there and feel it for what I think is probably the first time. And I've been wanting to do it like that ever since. It's like you said, it's that aha moment. Like, that's what I want out of it.
Loke is the epitome of keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
His matches are, if you're gonna get a Loke match. When you get a Loke match, you're getting a Loke match. He's gonna do the greatest hits. It's like going to see your favorite band. You're gonna see the greatest hits. He's gonna get the crowd participation in. He's gonna get the crowd involved in the match. You're gonna leave just how you came in, insanely safe, insanely protected, and it's gonna look like he kicked the ever living shit out of you, or he gets the ever living shit out of you, and he can sell that too. He's a gangster, man, and there's a reason why he's has accomplished as much as he's accomplished in this building, in this business. And his students that he has come up around him are some of my favorite people in this industry.
Phenomenal, man. It's not even fair. Those kids are phenomenal.
They're too good, dude. First time I seen them at the Sanctuary, I was like, what is happening?
Phenomenal.
They're on the list as well for future podcast stuff because I love those guys at death.
As they should.
So good. Yeah, man. So was that like your first name or established person that you've worked?
I think so. At that point, I think that would have been the first established worker.
Who was any other ones after that?
As for like wildly established, not so much.
Okay.
I've not in front of a live crowd anyway. Done, a lot of seminars and been grateful to be in opportunities to be around a lot of.
Were you at the seminar for PPW when they were in Battlefield or when they were at Broadheadsville?
Which one? I've done a few for PPW.
I feel like I was there for your one seminar. Were you there for the Jay Lethal?
No, I wasn't. I wish I was. I was so mad I missed that one.
Who were you there for?
I was there for Billy Gunn. I did Dean Malenko, Luke Gallows.
When they were in Broadheadsville.
Yeah, I remember. Right. I remember catching you there.
Yeah, you were there for that one.
That
was a good one because he treated it like you were going to a WWE tryout. I talked about it before on the podcast, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself for people who listen to every episode, maybe two of you. But I loved when he told everyone to take their shirts off, and they're just like, "What?" And he's like,
they just looked at him like a deer in headlights. They're like, "You want me to?"
Yeah, and a few people were like, and he's like, "Do it. This is exactly what they're gonna do at WWE." And then he was just like, "Is that the body you'd want to see on TV?"
Dude, and they're just like, honest, but you need that in this business. You need that brutal honesty. You really do.
Absolutely.
He made comments about my body too, because at that time I had no meat on me, man. I was skin and bones, and he told me I needed to beef up, and it took me a bit, but I finally took your advice, brother.
Yeah, and listen, you were at a Monday Night Raw, and the crowd was chanting your name, and you weren't even in the ring.
Oh my God! Don't even. When I looked and I saw you down there, I was like, what the?
So I was graciously given floor seats to a Monday Night Raw like 35 minutes before it happened, and we're all like going around, and BP's like, "Yo, there's Squid," and I was just like, "Let's go, Squid!" Our Squid Sterling or Chan, and he's just like, you just stopped, and you're like.
It took me like, I don't even think I was not paying attention. Like, I think I was in my own little trance too.
Yeah.
And it broke me out of it. I'm like, why is this happening here? No, what?
And then I took a picture of you and sent it to you. And you're just like, and you spotted me.
That's what I'm like, where is this motherfucker?
That was a good time. So listen, the wrestling thing we can swing back to if you have any stories or anything we can get back to, because there is some stuff I want to talk about, most recent stuff that you have done. But I want to kind of shift gears here.
On this. It's root beer. It's Lion's Head, but it's root beer. I'm not drinking on the job.
You can drink on the job. I'm just mad I don't have beer to drink with you. Once again, if you are here, make sure you hit those likes and subscribes and those shares. Where the goal for tonight's episode is 30 likes or hearts or whatever we can get. So if we can hit that 30 mark, that'd be absolutely insane. And make sure if you're on the Facebook side or YouTube, hit that share button and get more people aware of the ABJ podcast. We're trying to grow. We just hit 700 subscribers, so if we can hit that 800, that would be amazing. On the the quest of 1K, that'd be amazing. But music wise, you carry drumsticks, but what do you do for music? What instruments do you? Instruments, I'll give you. I will say if you play more than one, or a front man. What do you do in the music scene? And has the music and the wrestling been hand in hand this entire time?
So for me, it has always been hand in hand. I'll get to that soon. But musically, I do just a lot myself right now, solo stuff. I don't have a band. I did when I was, for years, I had a band called Life After Misery, When Humanity Remains. And we used to do some cool stuff. I was a front man. I was just a singer / screamer for that at the time. I didn't want to be tied down on stage with an instrument. I like being free. I like running around and acting crazy, as you could probably tell from the ring stuff. But I have been playing guitar for, how old am I? Oh my God. Like 16, 17 years now.
Wow.
Drumming wise, I've been playing for a couple years. Same thing with bass. One instrument I'd love to learn is piano. Can't play piano to save my life. Wish I could.
I think we got rated on Twitter. Twitter on Twitch. Appreciate that. I've never been rated before. Cool. I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see when I get rated. But my little brother, Captain Butters here, who's also on Twitch, go follow him. He plays a lot of MLB this show. So yeah, if we got rated, thank you so much. That's a huge help. I'm really close to that. I think it's like affiliate status or whatever it is. So yeah, thank you.
Going.
Yeah.
And aside from that, we back in high school, I had the opportunity to open up for a few national, international acts like Motionless in White, Sleeping with Sirens, We Came as Romans, Sepultura. Most of this happened at Eleanor Rigby's when that was open, and it turned into Three Kings. So those are good times. We were on the All-Star Festival. I think that was 2012, 2013. Don't smoke weed, kids. You don't remember.
Or do. As I wear my Dare shirt.
But yeah, lately though, I haven't been doing too much other than just sitting down and writing my own material and learning how to record it and produce it myself, which is a train wreck of knowledge that I need to get, because it is so much.
You need a car, and I need you to bring to this side of the 570, because if you need to get in contact with musician people, I have so many talent musician friends that I can link you up with, and you can
always
do
open to
some
new
cool
friends.
shit, man. So
Always
what was the
open.
name of your band? My brother said.
Band was Life After Misery. When we broke up, it was just a lot of like animosity within the band, a lot of different music styles. The one dude put a lot of our stuff on lock, but you could still find stuff out there if you search hard enough.
Okay.
Videos, and there's one recorded material. I have no physical copies. I don't even have a digital copy, but it does exist. There's an EP out there with my voice somewhere.
Love that. I think when you were saying the band names, if I'm not mistaken, my brother was a big We Came as Roman fans. So I think when you said that, his ears perked up. I heard them on like every band you said right now was all like bands I heard on like the Punk Goes albums.
Yeah. It was all around that era too, like when they were all hot and people were freaking out over that. So they were coming off of a big high. Plus Warped Tour. Warped Tour was real popular at the time. So that was probably at their height. And it was for We Came as Romans. It was their OG singer before he tragically passed.
Yeah.
It also wonderful people. Every single one of them in the band were great to hang out with. I would support them for life.
Love that. I love that. So have you really tried to balance that lifestyle of touring musician as well as a touring wrestler? Has that been a big thing that you have? Have you experienced? Like I know you said you're still struggling to try to find a band, but have you had that band life as well as touring wrestling?
Not at the same time. At first, that was my goal, and I got away with that just because I put so much in the wrestling when I started training. Like before I started, I truthfully didn't realize how much time and sacrifice of other things that I need to do is going to have to go into this, but the sacrifice is real. And I just stopped all of my musical projects at the time to really dive deep into wrestling. But that is something I want to do. I want to start juggling that. I just need to get my footing for it. Baby steps.
Yeah,
make
absolutely. So we are getting closer here. We're getting hit that 45-minute mark. We try to keep it around there or an hour. If anyone has any questions in the chat, please get them in now so we can get those prepared for everybody. I did have one. Finn says, "Do you think Randy Orton will ever wrestle again?" He wants to know from you, Squid. What's your thoughts on Randy Orton?
I love Randy Orton. I hope he does, man.
I hope he comes back.
I hope he comes back. I hope his back holds up and he's safe to do what he loves to do.
So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Finn. I'm gonna pull back the curtain of wrestling. When a wrestler comes out and their families come out and they start talking about that they had career-ending injuries, 9 times out of 10. Now sometimes there's truth to it. Like when Stone Cold broke his neck, it's like okay, he broke his neck. But 9 times out of 10, when the reports start coming out that they may be done as a wrestler, that means they're close to coming back. Adam Cole was going to be done with wrestling. He returned. Athena was going to be done with wrestling. She returned. All like that. So I think if you're a Randy Orton fan, I think you're pretty close to a return sooner than later.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We get the Viper back. What are some things you have going on now that you want people to check out, or where can people see you work, whether it be music or professional wrestling?
Right now, wrestling-wise, absolutely come out to Smash Master Wrestling. We need your support now more than ever. Just don't deny yourself a good time. It's a damn good time. It's
a really good time, yeah.
But June 17th, that's at Classics in Scranton, PA, in the West Side. Any local?
I missed the last one because I was hosting an open mic night that night, so I did miss the last Smash show.
Okay.
But I hope I don't miss the next one. Maybe I'll bring my speaker and host another open mic after the show. Who knows? And you could bring your guitar and hop. Yeah. It could be all the talented musician wrestlers who could just sing a couple songs after the show.
Ooh, we'll just have a family jam.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Aside from that, another Smash show, July 2nd. That's happening in Troop. I'm going to be at NTW at the Lycoming County Fair. That is a Monday night. That's going to be July 17th. I have August 4th and 5th coming up, but I can't say that one yet. But there will be a time, and that's exciting. I can't wait to say that, but I got to keep shut now. But as for right now, off the top of my head, that's what I have. If I can get down to Excite, I'm not booked on Excite, but I love those guys. They're all fantastic locker room, fantastic wrestlers. Love moves. Check them out too if you're in the area and you want to see some damn good shows. I got 2 of them coming up.
Well, high tension wrestling with the shout out earlier on saying about how you impressed them at classics. I know they have a show coming up on the 10th. It's a prom. It's a wrestling prom. So I've never actually been to prom, so this is be the first time for me. But maybe make a prom appearance.
I could I can get spiffy if I wanna.
Yeah, man. So I got one question in the chat from Hunter, and it says, if you could write a letter to your younger Squid Sterling, what would it say?
Just keep working. Not because it don't get easier. It doesn't get easier, and that's okay. I've accepted that, but just keep working and try not to bitch about it.
That's what I got to work on, not bitching. I got to keep my mouth shut more too. That's my problem. My Italian Irish kicks in, and then I get in trouble. Who are some people on the scene that Squid Sterling want to lock up? Who are some people you want to work, team up with, whatever it may be? Let's start speaking stuff into existence. Who's on the radar for Squid Sterling?
Ricky Price is a guy that I want to lock up with. We had one tag match, but we never even touched each other. I don't even think I touched anybody in that match. I screwed my partner. Screw him. Anyway,
who was it?
It was Joey P. Joey Perfect.
Okay.
Screwed him, lost our tag belts, then joined the same team that won the tag belt. So like, it's kind of weird, but
yeah.
I'd love to lock horns with him. I want to have a one-on-one match with TJ Epics. Got to work him in a 3-way with Sear and Rain, and had a blast. He hits hard.
How did you not get dizzy working those 3 or those 2?
I never said that. He
No, I said you worked a 3-way with Sear and TJ, right?
Yeah.
How did you not get, like, dude, they're quick. They're everywhere. How did you not get dizzy in that match?
I never said I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And they ran me for my money. That was a good time. But yeah, guys, I want to lock horns with Mike Skyros. He's a guy I've been watching.
Ricky Price says you guys can do that Friday night.
You're speaking my language, Ricky Price.
Oh, did we just possibly? I mean, Trotsky's got to approve it, but I don't think he's going to hate it.
I hope you don't hate that, because I don't hate that.
There you go. You heard it here on the ABJ podcast. Enough of you want to come watch it live on YouTube or live in Hazleton. Come see the first ever Ricky Price Squid Sterling match this Friday, first Friday at the Sanctuary.
God, I hope we're not false advertising.
Nah, we'll make it happen. I'll give Trotsky a couple beers. It'll be a couple gay beers. That's our new thing, is the gay beers. We bring Bud Lights, and that's our gay beers.
As you should.
Yes. Any other names out there?
Off the top of my head, so you put me on the spot. I mentioned Mike Skyros. I want to work with him. Jacoby Riddick is a guy that has popped back up that I've been wanting to work.
I actually was thinking Jacoby from the Smash shows. I'm like, because like a lot of the guys you're saying are quick,
something like that though.
Yeah, I think you guys can just keep feet planted and just beat the dog shit out of each other. I think that'd be fun to watch.
I think it'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
God, I honestly, I would like on a pure wrestling sense, I want to work Matt Turner one-on-one. Local legend, guy knows his shit, and I don't even care if I get my ass kicked. I'll at least learn something good.
I love that. That's another good one. I love that a lot. Promotions that you have never worked that you would like to jump into.
Promotions, I would love to get out to WrestlePro. I would definitely like to. I know High Tension was in there. I've been wanting to get on a High Tension show. I'd love to come down and help out, and put in my use where it could be used, for lack of a better word, tongue tie. Other than that, standalone wrestling, I would like to get involved in there with Pro Wrestling After Dark. They have a lot of cool things going on. I'd love to get in with Create a Pro. there's a lot. Battlefield. I haven't been down to Battlefield yet. I want to get down to there. They put on a great product. WXWC4. That was the first. I worked them once. It was my first ever.
Are they still running?
They are. I just saw they're running in Sunbury.
Oh, wow.
Coming up. I don't remember the date right offhand, but I did just see that they're back. So that's somewhere where I'd like to get involved with. God, yeah, you got me on the spot, brother.
I love it. No, these are all great answers. I love that a lot. Yeah, man. So where can people find you on social media? Or support you, buy merchandise, whatever it may be?
Well, everything, like all my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Excuse me. It's all Squid Sterling. Some of them you need the underscore. I don't remember which ones need the underscores, which ones don't. But Squid Sterling on everything. And Pro Wrestling Tees, I got a design up on there. You can get some merch. Other than that, I'm going to be posting some back merch that I have online soon. I want to clear some of that out, make room for some more stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
Maybe some new logos coming. Hint, hint, people in the chat. You may be getting a DM, a.k.a.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, hint, hint, Hunter Dillon. Just saying, logos by Hunter on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. Oh, he said Creator Pro guys come down to the sanctuary every once in a while. There you go. Creator Pros are the place to be. I actually fantasy booked my last guest that was on with Leo Sparrow. I said Leo Sparrow and Ricky Price would be a fun one to watch. But I think you and Leo Sparrow would be another good one there too. I
would love to work Leo. I've gotten the pleasure to meet him once. I was at AXW. That's a place where I would love to, you know, to show him what I can offer. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe against Leo.
Kai also a good logo designer. Maybe that Rocket Power one might be something Kai would be into. So maybe that we could look at that. He did the Bob's Burgers and the Simpsons one. I couldn't call it Simpsons, so it's called the ABJ Simp logo. Got to be careful how you name stuff. You get flagged. But any other questions in the chat? I don't think anything else came in. So anything that we didn't talk about, anything you want to plug, anything you want people to know about before we get out of here?
No, there's one thing that I wanted to say earlier that slipped my head. There's a little story that I had the pleasure of being around. So right before my first match, I had a great opportunity to sit down with Bob Backlund. And me and him, we just chatted for hours, like probably 3 or 4 hours. We just sat there and talked, and he gave me all this advice. And for anybody watching, whether you're a fan, whether you're a worker, whomever, he gave me advice going into a match that I took and tried to translate it into everyday life. And he said that you have a match, no matter how many people are in there. But if one guy goes in there and his sole purpose is to make the other guy look like $1 million, beat the shit out of him all you want and make him look like $1 million. If both people go in there with that exact same attitude, you can't have a bad match. And I took that to heart, and I also put that into real life too. Like if you put each other over, like if everybody had that attitude, man, nobody would ever lose. I totally agree. And like I said, we are very fortunate to be in an area in the 570 when it comes to local business, local artists, local creators, local wrestlers, local musicians. We're fucking talented in these coal mountains, man. There's a lot of really talented people, and a lot of them are you know what I mean? And we should be supporting each other and putting each other over because there's a lot of potential in this area. But man, I don't think there's a better way to end it. Squid, thank you so much for doing this and coming to hang out in the podcast. Like I said, dude, you're one of my favorite people on the scene. Your attitude, the way you conduct yourself, you're a class act dude. And more people should be booking Squid Sterling and buying your T-shirts and following you on social media. So let's make that happen with the ABJ Nation. I don't know. I don't have a name for my people. The BJers, I think someone said. The ABJers, I think someone said. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. The ABJers in the chat. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on here. And just aside, even not for me, thank you for continuing to do this and even if you're suffering, like in your personal life, you still keep this going to give us a platform.
It's hard. I'm trying.
I know it is. And we love you and we appreciate you for that. Don't you ever forget that when you get down.
Yeah, I do. And that's why, honestly, that's what keeps me going, man, is I want to have that voice for the people who may have a hard time getting their voice out there. So that's what motivates me to keep this grinding and keep this moving, is so more people can hear about people like you and the rest of the amazing guests I've had on this podcast. And yeah, that's the motivating factor for me. Before we get out of here, though, speaking of amazing people to get your name out there, this Thursday we'll be live again. This will be the first and only week of the month where we're going to have 2 in 1 week. Going forward, it's just going to be 1 a week. So for the month of June, we're going to do 1 a week, just because I have a lot of moving and setting up and hoping that my new location's internet is good and testing. But so this Thursday, we will have on PJ Savage on the podcast. If you don't know, you're going to find out. PJ Savage is an animal. He's he's a great human. I don't have the graphics up for the rest of them, but I'll give you a little rundown here. Tuesday, the 6th, the first ever out of character interview with Prince Ahmed will be happening. He's only doing 2 podcasts, mine and one other one, so get it while you can. Monday the 12th, Jocko, another member of the Billy Walker clan from the Sanctuary or the Takeover, where all the amazing places you've seen him. Tuesday the 20th, an alien will be touching down. Rocket is going to be on the podcast, who is absolutely stunning and to watch on the wrestling scene. And then a guy that we talked about on this episode will be on the 26th of June on a Monday. HC fucking Logue will be on the podcast, and I might be doing a shot of something with him before we start to get our nerves down.
It's the ritual.
I'm safe doing it virtually. I can't get spit on. You know what I mean? But like I said, I have a lot more coming up. July, I'll probably jump back on it again hard and get some more stuff. But I am also looking to start filming more interviews in person. I've been testing out the GoPros. It's been working really well. So possibly Fridays on Sanctuaries, if I can get somebody pull them aside for a couple minutes and record something, I will. Maybe at Smash, maybe at High Tension, maybe at IWA. All those shows coming up on these Saturdays that I'll be at. So make sure you go support all those shows if you want to come see ABJ. I will be at the show on Friday Sanctuary, the 10th at High Tension, the 17th at Smash, the 24th at IWA New Jersey and Nutley, and then on the 18th for Sanctuary. So there's the shows I'll be at for the month of June. I will remind you guys as we keep going. But thank you guys so much for support. We'll get out of here now. Here's some music by the Converse Kid, Billy Trey. We'll see you next time.